guys, and welcome back to Opal and Mint. I am Ashley, and honestly, today I have no idea what I'm doing. I have a general idea of what I'm gonna do, but I don't really have much of a plan. Honestly, I felt very uninspired today. I've been out of the routine of filming. We took a couple weeks off for the holidays, and sitting down today trying to figure out what on earth to film, what to paint, what to do, and my mind just kept going blank. So I've decided there's several projects that I have I need to do that are kind of in the back of my mind. One of those is I have a couple of friends who want me to paint phone cases, laptop covers, stuff like that for them. So I find that I do the best florals for cases and things like that when I'm just playing. Not when I'm trying to specifically, and that's why I haven't done it, because I feel like when I am going for that purpose, like this, I want to paint for this, I want to paint this for this laptop, or it just doesn't work out as well. So I figured I would just free myself up, get some paper, and just plop some flowers down. Just kind of play around and see what emerges. I'm not going to try a specific flower. I'm just going to pick some colors that I like, find some different color combinations that look good. I'm also going to use different types of paper. So when I paint something that's going to end up going on a product, I have to scan that in and put it on the computer and usually on the iPad. And so I'm going to try a couple of different types of paper, because scanning artwork in on different types of paper can have different results. So I have a hot press paper, I have an inexpensive paper, I have a very expensive paper, and I want to kind of paint the same thing on all of these papers and see how they look different on the different papers. So I'm using the same paint on different paper. How many times am I going to say the word paper? But then also how they scan in differently, just to kind of experiment and see moving forward when I want to do these projects, what is the best type of supplies for me to use. So you're going to get a lot of different information in this video. Some will be how paints can look different on different surfaces, different textures, different qualities. You'll see some papers don't hold the paint and intensity as well. It'll look more dull. So we're just going to play. We are not going to worry about specific flowers. We're just going to plop color and blobs of paint on paper. I hope I explained that in a manner that made sense. My brain is just kind of an interesting place. So anyway, we're going to go ahead, turn the camera around, and just start playing with watercolor and relax and have fun. Okay, so I have some just scrap pieces of paper here. These, I believe these are Fabriano papers right here. These look like the soft press, but I have a Saunders Waterford. This is hot press paper, so we're going to play around with that. I have bee paper inspired from the Bee Paper Company. This is a very inexpensive from Walmart. And I may pull a couple others out. We'll see. But I figured we would just kind of play around so you can see how things work on different surfaces. If you've never used hot press paper, it's quite different than using cold press or rough. The paint soaks into the paper very differently. It blooms a lot easier. It doesn't need as much water, and it's very, very smooth. So let's see. I think I actually want to start with the inexpensive paper, and then we'll move on to the hot press and the other, because I don't know what I'm doing yet, and I'm just going to start plopping stuff down. I don't even have paint picked out. I'm putting a bunch of paints up here. I have my 31 purple fish. I haven't pulled these out in a while. These are the Mission granulating paints. They crack like crazy, but they are beautiful. I may even pull out my ocean paper paints. That might be a fun color scheme. We're gonna play around with some different color schemes. And then there's some Holbein paints. I might even get out the core paints. I'm not a huge fan. A lot of people like these. They're not my favorite, but I do want to play with them today. So I have lots of paint, lots of options here. let's start with these. Okay, I'm gonna put some water on these so they can start soaking a little bit. They need a little bit of hydration. They are desert looking. All right, so I've got a certain friend in mind for this right now. I'm gonna start with this because this color, I've actually been looking at it in the swatch on my desk for a while and I've been wanting to play with this. This is Mission Gold's, what are you called? Oxide Turquoise. All right, so I just have a flat wash brush. When I'm doing stuff like this, I like to have big paper and I like to paint larger. Anyways, this is a 1/2 inch flat brush. So I'm just gonna start with some brush strokes. And since this paint is a granulating paint, it should have quite a bit of separation and interest with minimal effort. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, I'll let that kind of do its thing. Nope, nope, I like that. I like that. Okay, let's do another one. Also, another thing that we're not going for composition here. What happens is I will scan these in and I will separate the individual, not items, but objects, elements is the word I'm looking for, and I can arrange them how I want. So we're not necessarily looking at doing a composition unless it's what you want, like the laptop case or whatever, to have a certain composition, but you still can, I like to leave space so you can cut it out and move it around. I don't know if I explained that very well. But we're just gonna do a couple of different sizes of this same shape of flower here. So this one will be a little bit more closed off, like that. I need to pick out a green that would go with this. Okay, so I also want to put this, I'm gonna let this, do I want to put the, no, I want to put the green in while it's wet. So I'm gonna take, I think this is the jade green. And I just want to put in, yeah, that goes with that, some leaves. Okay. This one, I want to do like so. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let those separate and marinate, and I want to do the same thing on the hot press paper. Man, that oxide, that turquoise oxide, the way it separates those different colors. So this is an extremely smooth paper. This is also a lot warmer color of paper, but I'm very curious to see how the granulating paints are going to do on such a smooth paper, if they're going to granulate at all. Let's see here. I mean, they should granulate, but they're not going to have quite the same effect and texture, I'm assuming. I don't use hot press that much because I don't like it as much. To see how this does. Yeah. I mean, if you put a bunch of water, it's going to separate, so. But it'll also probably bloom more on this paper. Okay. All right, so a couple like that. It's interesting how the pigments are settling because the paper is warping, so all those pigments are going to like an area instead of textured. Very curious to see that one dry. Okay. All right, and this is quite warped. Do I have, because it was in a roll. Okay, this is the Holbein soft tape. This is the skinnier size that I have. Okay. I'll scoot that there. All right, so gonna just repeat the same process. Might make these a little bit smaller since the paper is smaller. Whoa, that was a lot of water. Such a pretty color. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let these all dry. I'm going to move on to another color and flower. We're also going to see granulating versus non-granulating. So all of these obviously are granulating, and we're going to see how they dry, and then I'm going to do some non-granulating. I can't believe how much separation there is in this paint. It's crazy. I haven't even opened this. This is another hot press, but I haven't used it because I don't use hot press that often. So this would be a great time to try it. Should I go with Holbein or Core? I think let's go with Holbein for right now. Again, very extremely smooth paper. Let's pick another brush because your brushes matter as well. We're gonna go with my most familiar to me, my round Kolinsky Sable, size 6. Hey, let's think. Colors. We're gonna go bright. We're gonna go with some bright colors. Okay, whoops. So we'll start here. Pink. All right. That is beautiful. This is a really great time to use more fugitive colors because it's going to be scanned in. So if it's not light fast, it doesn't really matter. So this is a really good time to just play with color and have fun. Okay, so I'm just going to do some, these are just kind of blob shaped petals. We're not really worrying too much. Such a beautiful color. And I try not to go off the edge when I'm doing stuff like this. I really like doing off the edge designs, but like when you're scanning it in and moving things around, you need to have the whole thing. So I need to remember that. Let's see here. What color should I put with this? Should I do another bright or should I kind of opposite kind of vibes? Let's see what this color looks like. Actually, I kind of want to mix this blue with that pink. I need a mixing surface. Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so I want to do the same thing on a cold press paper. All right, I'm in the mood for something like a coral color. So first of all, whoops, I need to try to fix that. Look at the colors and the separation on that. That is insane. Goodness gracious. Okay, so we're back to the bead paper, and let's mix up some coral colors here. So I'm gonna take very bright yellow. And I'm actually gonna take that bright pink. Look at that. That's really pretty. I want to take a little bit of this shell pink because yeah, that's what I want. And then I'm going to add just a touch more yellow. That was more than a touch, but oh, that's pretty. One more a little bit here. That's what I want. Okay. All right, flowers, flowers, flowers. I'm trying to think of what shape I want. I just need to start plopping it down. That is a beautiful color. Oh, I really like this color. I feel like this would make a really pretty rose color too. A corally rose. All right, let's do another shape with this color. Let's try a rose. All right, let's try another shape. All right, just kind of playing around with that. Let's take some green. I'm really liking this color combination, this peachy corally pink and then this beautiful green. Okay, so there's just some simple flowers. I want to do this on another paper, so I have two options. So just reminding you, I am still using the Holbein paints right now, kind of mixing a bunch of colors together. And now I am on the Saunders hot press paper. So let's mix up some more coral. This paper is so incredibly smooth, it's crazy. Okay, so it's really, you can really see the difference between the hot press and cold press in the rose. Oh, and the color. Well, the color of this paper is warmer, so it's overall warmer. But like you see the blooms that are happening in this. It happens in cold press as well, but it happens a lot easier, quicker, faster, whatever in hot press paper. You can see it happening here too. It's just because the way the paper dries, it dries more unevenly, I guess. It doesn't hold as much water. So that is definitely interesting. I love the way the leaves did on the hot press paper though, on this. That looks really cool. I want to do a whole bunch of leaves like this. I like the way this flower specifically turned out on hot press. So this is really fun because I don't like it as much on the cold press, but on the hot press, I could do a whole thing of those flowers and that's really, really cool. So I may actually I want to do another color of those flowers. What color though is the question? Gorgeous purple. Give it a whirl. Let's just try it. See what happens. Gosh, the way it does those leaves though. Oh, and the green with that purple is really pretty as well. Those are really pretty, actually. Oh, okay. I like it. I like it. I wasn't expecting to like the hot press paper at all. So this is interesting. Another thing I was just thinking about is could do an entire thing of just a bunch of different leaves too, because I'm liking the way that is. But let's look and see what we've got though. I've got a lot of different things on my desk right now. So here is hot press versus cold press of the same flower. I don't know if you can tell the way it's drying and how it differs. Interesting. And then let's go back to the first flower we did. We have, this is the bee paper. Look how textured that is. And then here is the hot press paper. Such a cool color. And then here's the Fabriano. This green is so pretty. But the fun part after this too is scanning it all in and arranging and seeing what goes together. And this Terre Verte color, however you want to say it, from Holbein is one of my favorites, and it's just doing really cool things with the leaves on the hot press paper. That is so pretty. I love it. Yeah, combination of a brush you like, a paint you like, a paper that's working for you. It's just a beautiful storm. But you can take these elements, paint these elements, and then paint flowers on another page and piece them together in Procreate or in Photoshop or whatever you have. Oops. See if I can fix that little whoopsie. I'm going to do a couple more things. I'm going to speed through it though. I don't want to like be here forever. So I'm just going to let you watch me play. Okay, so I'm probably gonna wrap this video up here. I really enjoyed the ocean paper paints one. I don't know what it is about the muted vintagey tones that just get me. But I think I may end up painting a whole bunch of these. I feel like that would make a beautiful laptop case. So I don't think I have like a phone case quite decided. I might go in the general direction of these colors for a phone case, but I'm going to play around with flowers some more. But I think this vibe right here for one of my friends, her laptop, I think that's the direction I want to go. So I'm going to paint a bunch of these and I'll scan it in, and I will show you in a future video. Maybe I'll do a video on how to scan it in and the whole process after. Like, this would be really long if I did all of it, but I hope you enjoyed watching just what you can do kind of if you're stuck, and or if you have a project that you're nervous about, just kind of painting a whole bunch of things on different surfaces, different paints, just to kind of see which direction you want to end up going in. And I feel like this is kind of where I've landed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it though, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you want to see our future videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Why would I do that? That was dumb. Hey guys, and welcome back to Opal and Mint. The microphone, is it behind me?